Hey everybody, it's time for a new rear tire on this 110. Got a Dunlop MX34 to put on there. Start by taking off this 14mm nut on the brake rod. The axle nut on this side is a 19mm and on the other side is a 14mm. Using your tire spoon with the hook pointing up, go around and push the tire down off the bead. Okay, with the hook pointed down now, put your tire spoons in about 4 inches apart and push down on the tire on the opposite side as you start to pull the bead out. You got to make sure the other side of the tire is pushed down into this center groove of the rim. Now you're here, you can start working your way around. There's a sweet spot, just an inch or two out from where the bead is coming out. And the tire iron will slide right in. Now you got one side of the tire pulled off. You're going to pull the other bead off the opposite side, so the tire is going to be on the outside of the rim on each side. Now at this point, you're going to push the rim down into the tire as far as you can, and then grab the rim and push the tire right off. These 110s always get ridden way too hard, mostly by adults. So I'm going to add the rim lock in here to help from the valve stem getting ripped off when the tire slides on the rim. I'm going to go over 8 spokes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's where I'm going to drill the hole for the rim lock. I'm going to start with a real small bit, something that's a little easier to control and handle. Make sure it goes right in the center. When I'm all done, I'm going to use the air compressor real good, maybe some soapy water. Make sure you get all those little metal shavings out or you'll have flat tires for the rest of your life. I'm going back in with this larger drill bit. It's an 11/32. These rims are 1.6 inches wide, so make sure you have the corresponding rim lock to put in there. If you have a little baby powder, I like to put it in there. It helps the tube from chafing on the tire. And it helps a lot to get some lube on the bead of the tire. You can use dish soap if you need to, or I have this tire stuff. So take your new tube, take off this top nut and the cap. Make sure this bottom nut is tight. I think about as tight as you can go by hand is perfect. We're going to put just a little bit of air. Just a little bit in there. Now you're going to pull the tube out a little bit. You're going to line the stem up with the hole. Then you're going to put this nut on just a couple threads, just to hold it in place. Something like this. So we're going to push the rim lock out from the rim a little bit and make sure it slides into the tire. So the stem is in the rim and the rim lock is up inside the tire. Now we're going to put that first bead on. Go real slow. Go real slow with small bites. Now flip the rim over and take a look, make sure your bead lock's where it's supposed to be, and make sure the stem, sometimes the tube gets folded under this bead, so make sure the stem is free. To help, I got this little bead buddy. This is going to help hold the tire down while I work my way around. You don't have to have one of these, but they're pretty handy. I'm going to start here next to the bead lock. Make sure you get the bead lock pushed in when you start to put the tire on. When the tire starts to tighten up, you need to push down all the way around between every bite and make sure that tire stays down in the rim. Now we're ready to air it up. Look real closely around the rim and the tire. Make sure that the tire has seated all the way out on the bead on both sides. You can tighten up your newly installed rim lock. These don't get tightened incredibly tight. Somewhere medium pressure. I run the cap and nut like this so that there's some wiggle room on the stem if the tire slips on the rim. Clean off these spacers as best you can, and then get some fresh grease on there. The grease is half of what keeps the water out. When you put the wheel in, make sure the chain is up over the sprocket. Now you can pull the chain onto the sprocket. Now you can slide it back and get your axle adjuster in place, and then slide the axle all the way through. First it's the axle adjuster, and then the nut. It's the same 19 and 14 millimeter. And push down on the brake to move the rod out of the way. Slide the dowel in. Then let go of the brake. Now I just hold the rear brake lever down and then put the drill on this nut and put it where I like it. Make sure you have good tire irons. I prefer these Motion Pro style, but the spoon type are really good too. Son's got a race tomorrow, so I got some numbers I need to put on this thing. Hopefully we'll have a good report for you guys. Thanks for watching. Bye, bye.